Hello everyone, Adrienne here. So today we are here for another absinthe review. Yes, I am wearing the same outfit and makeup from my previous video, but I'm sure it's fine. So I was generously sent some samples of new absinthe brands to try. This is one of them, and this one is for Leopold Bros. I've heard really good things about this absinthe, and I'm really excited to try it. Again, this was generously sent to me by one of my absinthe friends, I guess, that I've made within the absinthe community. And again, I feel so fortunate to have built a bit of a following and a reputation in the absinthe community. It's a little bit scary at the same time, but I'm just gonna roll with it. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about Leopold Bros Absinthe Verte, see what they have to say. Following the traditions of the 19th century European master distillers, that means that we start with a grape distillate base. In our case, this means imported Chilean pisco. Okay. And add the required ingredients to constitute absinthe: anise seed, fennel, and grand wormwood. Other botanicals are also added to our small batch copper pot still. Following distillation of this blend, we naturally color the result by steeping the distillate in coloring herbs such as lemon balm and hyssop. Nice. Wonderful, excellent start. That's exactly what we need for absinthe. The result is brilliantly emerald green spirit that is the perfect touch for classic cocktails such as the Sazerac. 65% alcohol by volume. Okay, cool. Pretty exciting. Yeah, not really much to say about it, and I didn't see anything about the country of origin, but if I do, then I will place it right here so you guys know where this is from. So I'm pretty excited to see what this is like. I've heard a lot of really good things about Leopold Bros, so hopefully I won't be too disappointed. So now comes the point where I reposition the camera and fill my absinthe fountain full of ice, and we're going to be checking out the appearance and the louche, and then later evaluate the aroma, the flavor, and the finish, and give our final thoughts. Alright guys, so here we are. We're going to be taking a look at Leopold Bros Absinthe Verte. Again, pretty excited. I don't know what to expect, but I've heard good things, so let's check it out. Okay, well, the initial color is just a tiny bit disappointing. It's kind of like a beige, kind of muted gold color, but not necessarily a bad thing. For appearance, I'm going to give it, let's be generous and call it 3.5 stars, because it's definitely correct and it's very obviously not artificially colored, but the color is a little bit disappointing. Alright, so let's check out the louche and see what we got. Okay, good sign. It clouds up right away. That's great. That's exactly what we want. Ooh, that actually smells really, really nice. Definitely very anise forward as far as I can tell from the fragrance, but I will reserve my thoughts for when we evaluate the aroma and the taste and whatnot. Alright, so I'm definitely impressed by the thick opalescent louche. However, I'm just slightly disappointed by the color of it, but I'm not going to fault it too much. I will say 4 stars for louche for being a thick opalescent louche, but I'm taking that 1 point off for it being a little, just slightly disappointing as far as color is concerned. But when you consider how it started out, I can't fault the product too much. So that's where I stand on that. Alright, so now we're going to be repositioning the camera and taking a sniff and a taste and evaluating the finish and giving our final thoughts. Alright guys, so we're going to evaluate the aroma and the taste and the finish of Leopold Brothers and see how it is. So the louche is very encouraging. So like I said, it's really not that green. It's just like, it's more white with like a hint of green or gold. Like I said, just slightly disappointing, but at least the louche is thick. That's what's really important, is that it's thick, opalescent, can't see through it. That's what's important. Alright, so let's take a sniff and see what we got. Kind of smells a little spicy. Like, that could just be the wormwood, but it's kind of like sagey, and I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of celery. Not that I mind, of course, I love celery. So I would say very sharply botanical. Not really all that sweet, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm definitely getting that fennel a little bit more. That hyssop and that lemon balm. Maybe it's the lemon balm. That could be it, because even though the lemon balm and the hyssop were made strictly for coloring, there's always the possibility that those flavors can come through during that second maceration process. Aroma is really pleasant, really nice. I just wouldn't say it's top notch. I'm going to give this, for aroma, 3.5 stars. Because it's definitely correct. It's sharply botanical. That's the best way that I can describe this. And it smells kind of like celery. It's a little crazy. Alright, so that being said, let's go in for a taste and see how this is. And as always, solte, and please drink responsibly. Yeah, sharply botanical. It has a kind of celery-like quality, but again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It finishes very sweet, which, again, not necessarily a bad thing. It definitely finishes a lot sweeter than it starts. Like, it starts off spicy, and then just feels kind of clean, and then kind of transitions into the sweetness as it finishes off. So that's really nice. Has that nice sagey flavor that I'm guessing is the wormwood, because sage and wormwood are in the same family. And not really rosemary-like I've tasted with other absinthes before, but definitely fresh. That's the best way that I can describe this, is fresh and kind of celery-like, but not in a bad way, because, let's be honest, I really like celery, okay? Definitely very lemon balmy. Like, I'm definitely getting a lot of lemon balm with this, but again, not necessarily a bad thing. Lemon balm is a wonderful, wonderful spice and wonderful herb. Really lovely. It's really fresh. I can see this going really nicely in a corpse reviver. It's definitely not my favorite, but it's traditional-like, it's accurate. It passes the louche test, which is super important. It's just not anything fantastic, if that makes any sense. But it does have freshness and a nice botanical flavor in its favor. But it's definitely not the most fantastic absinthe I've had. But that's totally fine. Hey, honey, is Precious sitting on you? No. Would you like to come try this? Well, you're going to be out of frame anyway. My husband is coming in to try it because I think he might like the sweet finish.
Just so happens there were shorts nearby, just in case.
Oh, thank God. It smells like celery, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Okay, I'm not crazy. Kenny's not an expert, and he says it smells like celery.
Like I'm at the grocery store. It's not bad.
You like it?
No. It doesn't have like a punch you in the mouth.
With anise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you would describe it as botanical and celery-like? With a sweet finish?
I mean, those are a lot of fancy ways to describe things. I don't necessarily describe things that way.
In layman's terms, how would you describe it?
A little sweet. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have much else I can really say. It's just...
Sweet and celery-like?
the smell is celery-like. Not so much the taste, but...
Okay.
You know, it's just, you know... It's not bad absinthe.
Okay.
You know, I can drink that.
So, good for beginners.
Well,
So, you kind of bumped up my rating by 0.5 points.
oh, okay.
Because I'm not as big of a fan of this because, yeah, it passes the louche test. The louche looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as green as I was hoping, but if a beginner likes it, a beginner that doesn't like absinthe, by the way, I want the record to show that Kenny's not an absinthe fan, but the fact that Kenny likes it for being fresh and sweet will bump up my rating just a little bit.
You didn't even put sugar in that, did you?
No.
Okay, yeah, because you don't usually do that for your reviews. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's very tolerable absinthe.
Okay.
Man.
Thank you very much for your input, love. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
My husband, everyone. Okay, so my husband gave his input, and I can see where he's coming from. I can see where a beginner is going to prefer this a little bit more than an expert would. It definitely doesn't punch you in the face with anise, but it definitely gives you a really nice flavor with all the other botanicals. And he agrees with me that it smells like celery, so I'm not crazy. So that's nice to know. It's nice to know I'm not going a little bonkers there. So, this is good. I don't like it as much as some of my other favorites that I've had, but the fact that Kenny likes it tells you what you need to know about how a beginner would like this. This is not accosting in any way. This might be a good step up from if you're starting with La Clandestine, for instance. Moving up to this would be a good idea, I think. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's piney like a lot of other absinthes I've had. It's definitely fresh, but it's fresh in kind of like a celery kind of way, but I don't mind it so much. And the fact that Kenny said, "You didn't put sugar in that, did you?" kind of tells you how sweet it is. So yeah, okay. It's growing on me a little bit. It's definitely growing on me. So I will go ahead and give the taste 4 stars. This definitely isn't bad, but it's also not the absolute best I've had, and I can see a beginner really liking this if they're kind of put off by the flavor of anise. Perfect timing because Kenny's now getting started on dinner. I love my husband so much. Yeah, it's growing on me. I was originally going to give this a 3.5, but now that I'm going a little bit deeper into the glass, it is growing on me. Again, it's not my favorite, but again, I can see a beginner really liking this. As for the mouthfeel, it's just a tiny bit tingly, and it has a really nice body for the mouthfeel. You can really feel it kind of coating the inside of your mouth really nicely. I know that sounds weird, but the way that it coats the inside of the mouth is really lovely, and you can tell that this was made with a lot of care, with a lot of love. Again, I'm just slightly disappointed by the color, and the fact that it doesn't have as much anise flavor will attract a beginner, and maybe someone who is an expert with absinthe is going to like something that is a little bit more anise or fennel forward. So yeah, this is good. Not my favorite, but it's very good. Yeah, that's actually really lovely. But it did take a minute for it to grow on me, and I'm really glad that Kenny gave his input. So, as far as the flavor is concerned, I'm going to give it 4 stars. For the mouthfeel, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars because you can tell by all accounts that this is a really well-made absinthe. Like I said, I'm just slightly disappointed by the color. And I do like the fresh, kind of herbal, and again, celery-like. That word just keeps coming up because it's the best way I can describe this. Celery-like kind of flavor. It's really fresh. You know, kind of makes me think of springtime. Or like Kenny said, walking around in the grocery store. So yeah, I would recommend this for beginners who aren't as big of a fan of anise forward absinthe. This is a good transition from something really sweet and easy like La Clandestine to something that is a little bit more transitional into what stronger or more traditional or more anise forward absinthes are like. So yeah, I'd say this is a winner. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much to my patrons for your support every single month. You guys are amazing. Thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And to everyone, I love you, and I will see you guys later. Bye!